Hey, greetings, folks. Greetings, good morning, wherever you are. And I would like to greet everybody in the name of peace, happiness, good health, and most important, in the name of the Most High Yahweh. First of all, I'm doing this video because I want to do like an introduction of who I am, because I'll be doing a seminar in Granville, Virginia. And this is with the efforts of my brother. I call him my brother, J.C. Goodson, that was born and raised there, and he's setting this up along with his other associates, and he's doing this because of my background and what he wants to do for the community. He's a good brother. Jason, big respect, big shout out to you, my brother. Before I even introduce myself, I'm putting you at the forefront because what you do is very important to change lives. If it's going to change my life, and it's going to change the people that comes to the seminar life. So before I get into it, just say my name is Mosha. I am a disease research consultant specialist, and the reason I say this, it sounds you never heard this before. I picked this title because it's not a title, it's what I do. I research diseases. I've been doing this for many years, over 30 years, right? I don't give remedies to people. Number one, I'm not a doctor, so I like people to understand that. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a herbalist. I would like to consider myself in another level, not higher than or lower than them, but I'm not those guys. Herbalist gives remedy, just like a doctor. A doctor, you go to him and he gives some analysis and then they provide you prescription. Herbalists are the same. They come to you, go to them, oh, what do I do for this? What do I do for that? And they prescribe a herb for you. Now, I don't work like that because I don't think that really helps. Yes, it's a remedy, and this is why people get relief. It doesn't cure the problem. What I do is go deep into these things so I could find the crux of the problem and fix that problem. All right, so once again, I'm not a doctor, guys. So I have been at this about 30 years. All right, ever since I was a child, I have this gift. I have a gift for a lot of things, guys. Not just healing, not just medicine, not just herbal and all of this stuff, but I have a very unique gift. And when I was a child, I used to look around me and I used to see a lot of people dying, and I couldn't figure out why people were just getting sick, getting all these diseases. And I didn't want to go that route. So I started on my journey. And I started lifting weights and doing, but before I get into that, let me give you a little bit of my background. A little more background from my childhood. As a matter of fact, let me continue with that. So I didn't want to be a part of that statistics, you know. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna see what I can. I was very young, and I started lifting weights. I think I was like maybe 12 years old. I was pushing weights and into bodybuilding and karate. I was a karateka when I was 10. Bodybuilding, karate first, judo. Later on, I did Muay Thai, boxing. I have a black belt in karate and Kyokushin Kaikan karate. I have several bodybuilding titles, natural bodybuilding titles. I never took steroids. I entered as a light heavyweight competitor. I won Mr. Jamaica, Junior Mr. Jamaica, which is the younger division. And later on, as the years goes by, I also won the Open, which is the men's Open championships back then. I also represented Jamaica in the Caribbean Championship. It's a competition where all the people from the Caribbean, all the Caribbean islands get together and they had a bodybuilding championship. I also I won that division. I won I won that, sorry. I didn't win the whole show, all right? I've represented my country also in other competition. I've represented the United States in a national qualifier for the Olympia. It's called the United States versus Canada. And when I won, when the competition was over, the president of the IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilding, he approached me and he says, "Hey man, how are you?" We was talking and he said, "You know, you're very good. Your body is magnificent. But you need to take vitamins." I think that's his exact word. So what he was telling me to do was to take drugs. And I didn't want fame that bad, folks. I didn't want fame. My conscience would kill me. I believe in a higher power, and I just have a feeling. I had people who did it and they get into trouble. They get sick. So I've been into that. I owned a 60,000 square foot world gym franchise with an Italian lady. I earned $800,000 in 6 months at the time because of my fame and my recognition. I have appeared in several different bodybuilding magazines as a natural bodybuilder. The reason I lost that gym is because I had an Italian partner and I trusted her to handle the money, and she took it all right? And I had a young lady from Colombia was working with me that was our secretary, and she was the one who told me, "You know how much money we make so far?" Because I wasn't paying attention to the bills, I was paying attention to the bills because I was the one who getting them paid. She was handling the money and said she was paying bills and blah, blah, blah. So she took the money and we had to close. When I left, the gym closed in a week. Everybody was suing her. So then I had a car business, right? I was a car dealer. I'm giving you my background, guys, because a lot of people don't know who I am. But during these times, I'm also was studying all about nutrition and food and biology on my own. I was doing this on my own, and that's what made me so good in bodybuilding, because guys used to wonder how I'm so ripped, and I stay ripped all year round. So I knew what to eat. Okay? So I had a car business, I had that gym with this lady. I also graduated from FIT with a degree in fashion. I used to work for Norma Kamali. Anybody in the industry know those are big names. Neiman Marcus Furs, Perry Ellis, and a few others. I had my own line of clothing. I had a sample set that was going into the Source magazine. Anybody who knows the Source knows that is a big hip-hop magazine back then. So all of those things was my forte. Let me think what else. I went to NYU. I took screenwriting, and I took some computer. I studied screenwriting in NYU and computers. All right. So none of this what is coming into my life now, this healing and stuff, was what I went to school for. I never went to school for it. So how is it that I'm able to do it? Reminds me of, I think it was John chapter 7. Let me see. I don't remember what chapter, but I think it's John chapter 7, verse 15, I believe. And there was a statement that says this. It says, "How is this man having all this knowledge, having never studied?" It was talking about the Son of the Most High, of course, right? So, and then the Son of the Most High responded. He said, "Of myself I do nothing. It's the works of Him that sent me." Why am I saying this to you? Because there is a power within every one of us. It's inside of you. And there's a talent inside of you that you can reach into. That's the power. You are, when they tell you you are gods, it's no joke. You're not a real God, but you have that ability because you have some of that spirit. So I have tuned into that, and it's given me a lot of talent that you would never believe that I have. So that is a little bit of my background. Then when I came to the States, I came to the States very, very early, very young. I've studied law. I studied everything. They tried to take my house at one time and they couldn't take it. I defended my house. But anyway, let me just get into some of the things that I've healed. High blood pressure, diabetes, vertigo, gout, acid reflux, stomach, any stomach issues, arthritis, overweight, cholesterol, tuberculosis, STD, fibrosis, fibroids, dizziness, cancer, you name it, guys. All right? I have cured, and I'm telling you, I don't know, guys, I'm not a doctor, but when people tell a little boy with sickle cell anemia that his family had to take him to the doctor every 3 months to clean his blood like a kidney dialysis machine, or else he would have died, so much acid building up in his blood from the foods he was eating, I fixed that for them in less than a month, guys. He has no more sickle cell anemia. What do you call that? Right? There's another little baby that's just 2 years old. Her stomach was so swollen because the formula that they was giving the baby, rather than feeding the baby on the breast milk, the baby's stomach is not developed properly to digest this acid food. The baby's stomach is very alkaline. A child pH, I test one of them, is 8.4. That's the maximum. That's the pH of the ocean. That's the pH of the interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid, which science has just discovered right now, is the fluid that all the cells and the organs, they bathe in those. They lubricate, in other words. Imagine lubrication. They sit in that, they swim in that like in the ocean. That fluid is at 8.4. The ocean is alkaline at 8.4. Your blood is alkaline at 7.364. So everything has to do with alkalinity. So when you give in the baby the sugar, there's a lot of information on the internet. So if anybody wants to challenge it, go look on the internet and do your own research. Sugar is acid. It's a very nutritious substance. I'm sorry, in fruits, sugar is very nutritious, but it contains carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is an acid that the body, the metabolism get rid of. That's a scientific biological function also. That's in the internet. You can find all this information. I'm not trying to miseducate anybody. I'm just sharing information with the public so you guys can have a better approach to what you're going to put into your mouth, and you become aware. So if you put something in your mouth, you're going to have to be conscious. You will be conscious of what you're putting in your mouth. So this baby that has this swollen stomach, the family didn't have money. I was in the DR, and the baby cried. I look at this baby, I felt so bad. I have a photo of this child, and I just told her what to do, and she said the baby was fine because the sugar was destroying that poor little baby. The acid was developing up so much from all the sugar, and her liver and all of that wasn't developed to deal with any of this. I also have a nurse. Let me tell you the most important ones. In my restaurant, I had a couple months back that came in to eat, and I noticed every single day they keep coming back, every single day. So one day I decided to give my nutrition pep talk. They were talking how good the food was, and I was telling her that I put stuff into my food that I know will neutralize acid. I know what foods is acidic, so I would introduce seasoning in there that will neutralize it, so the body, your stomach, won't have such a hard time. You see, and so when I was talking to them. It's a couple. It was a couple. They retired, I think. Not that old though. What you call old. And the lady said to me, she said, Mosha, we're listening to you speak. Have you have a degree in medicine, or do you do anything like that? She said, because what you're saying is awesome, and she said, what you're saying is true. I said, no, I don't have a degree. It's a gift. She said, wow. She said, you're amazing. She said, you know why are we saying this to you? Because we're a retired surgeon. Retired surgeon. She said, we cut the human body every day and look in it, me and my husband. And she said, so what do you think, what do you do? This is the nurse, the surgeon, the retired surgeon asking me this. She said, my husband, ever since, for the beginning of time, he has a problem with his stomach. He cannot eat. You have to be careful what we eat. He cannot eat without a stomach problem. She said the only time in this life that we ever eat something and it doesn't bother us is when we come to eat your food. And this is why we come here every day, and we take it home and heat it up because he has something to eat. That's what she said to me. And she said to me, it's amazing what your food has done to us. And I said to her, I said, listen, I can help him. These are doctors. Guys, I'm not lying to you. I have the video. You understand? This is a doctor. I have the video of them. I didn't put what they told me on video. And I said to her, I said, listen, I'm going to give you something. And when you get back to the States, I want you to have him drink this half an hour before bed, and half an hour before he eats, and half an hour before bed. And if it doesn't help him in a couple of weeks, you get back to me, then we discuss other things. We discuss working with me and money and whatever and whatever. She said, no problem. But guys, it's been almost maybe 8-7 months. I haven't heard from them. Okay, so whatever I gave them works. There's another young lady that was a nurse. She's from Ghana. She said to me, you know, I fly down here just to see you. Like, I saw you on YouTube and I come down to see you. I said, really, why? But she didn't tell me she was a nurse. So she said, I was talking just the same way. I always talk. And I get to find out who people are by talking. And she said, wow, yeah, you know, wow, what you're saying, how you know that? She said, how did you know this? How did you know that? How did you know this? How did you know? I said, how do you know that I know that what I'm saying is medical? She said, because I'm a nurse. She said, I'm a nurse. I have 2 degrees in nursing. I make $180,000 a year. I come here to speak to you because my dad has high blood pressure. He has diabetes, right? We have taken him everywhere in the world. I do anything for my dad. He's going blind now. He can't walk. He has impotence, all of this stuff going on with him from his diabetes. Guys, I'm telling you something right now. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, don't play with that, guys. This is deadly stuff. When you get the remedies, take your medication. Doctors prescribe you, take your medication. But it's dangerous. You have to be very careful with it, and you have to find a solution to resolve that problem. So she told me he started with diabetes, then he got blind. Yes, because the diabetes do that. And once that's gone, he got kidney issues. He has kidney failure, guys. All right, kidney failure, which everybody eventually, if you're not, you got to be careful what you eat. You understand? So guys, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm sharing information for you to take caution. So she said he has all these problems, and she wants me, she's going to bring him to the Dominican Republic for me to help him. And I was telling her about certain things. I was telling her about a particular, I don't remember exactly, but she was saying to me, she wants to get out of what she's doing because she's finding herself giving all these stuff to kids, you know, and she's not feeling happy with it. So I said, then she said to me, you know, I'm going to bring a bunch of nurses down here. I'm going to find out and bring them down for you to tell them all of this stuff that you're telling me. Because everything that you say, she said, what I thought I knew about digestion is not digestion. And I don't want to really get into it. I want to save a lot of this stuff for the seminar. But one of the things she was saying is about hydrochloric acid and how it digests the food. So I said, okay, this is what you do. Buy a pint of hydrochloric acid. They sell it in the pharmacy. Get some cooked corn and some cooked beans and put it in there and cover it up and leave it and see what happens a couple of days later if it breaks it down. And she was shocked because she said, I was taught that that's what digests the food. Then when I explained the stuff to her, she literally get goosebumps and just walk out of my place and came back and said, I can't believe I spent all these years with 2 degrees and I feel like shit right now. You make me feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like garbage, she told me. I said, no, you did good. I said, you're in the good establishment. What you learn is not waste. There's a lot of biology that is good in what you learn. So don't think, you've just been misguided on some things, you know. And she was agreeing with me. And so yeah, that's another one. Then I had my first healing experience was with my brother-in-law. He developed gangrene on his foot when I was very young, guys. Before I know a third of what I know now. I didn't know anything. I was in my teens. And my sister called me up one day and she was crying. And I said, what's wrong? She said, my husband has gangrene and they want to cut off his toe. I said, how did he get gangrene? I didn't know anything about that at the time, with that it associated with diabetes. That show you how much I didn't know, but I know enough to know what to do. And he had high blood pressure, he had diabetes, right? So he got stuck on his big toe at school, at his job, and that's how the gangrene started to develop on his foot, right? So I told her, get him out of the hospital, and I come up and do what I can do, come to the house. So she called me back, she said they don't want to let him out of the hospital. So I said, you tell him that you're not going to sign any document giving them any permission to touch your husband, and if they touch him without your permission, they're gonna have a big lawsuit. A couple of minutes later, she calls me, she said he's out the hospital. And folks, I prepare, I went out, take my money, and I go and I bought all the stuff I needed to buy, and I went up there and I make him some formulas, some compounds, and in less than 2 weeks, the gangrene was gone. He was in St. Barnabas's hospital was the one they had him in. When this man goes back for his checkup, guys, I tell you the truth, all the doctors that was tending to him, nurses, was calling me, what did you do? They have never seen that. Okay? And it was a surprise to me, because I knew it worked, but even there's a statement that says your eyes shall be teacher to your mouth shall be teacher to your ears. So I was being acted through, and I didn't even realize it. So nothing that I'm telling you guys I do, I went to school for. It's a gift. And I'm telling you right now, I don't want to make a bold statement, but I'm going to make a bold statement and say, because money is everything. It's not that the money that you're going to give to me or give to charity you're going to need money to get your health back. LeBron James spent $1 million, I hear, every year to keep healthy. And people was marveled that, yeah, I'm like, yes, that's what it's going to take. It takes money to get your health, because there's things that are not available in the supermarket and on the regular stage that is healthy for you. You go into a supermarket, I call it kryptonite market. Nothing in there is verbatim to the electrons that the body carries. So I was able to get rid of his gangrene. Another friend of mine, he's a doctor. He's a blood doctor, and his wife has a thyroid problem. And she had hypo or hypro, one of them. And I fixed that for her. Imagine that. A doctor had this issue with his wife. He couldn't fix it. All right? And I fixed that for them. How? Because of what the Creator gave me. I can't take credit for it, because it's not coming from my own doing. It's given to me. And so I'm telling you this to give you a little background. And if you don't believe me, why don't you give me a test? Just give it a test, and you will find out. With God in front, anything will be done. I want to say something. One of the things that's killing us is the food we're putting in our mouth, because we're eating the wrong food. We were given a law of what to eat. It's in the book. It's a statement, right? The Most High gave us the dietary laws, but we don't follow it. We follow the laws of the sorcerer and the guys that cast a spell on the whole world. So there is a statement that says this, okay? It says this. It says, where there is light, there is life. For light is life, and life is light. But the driving force of light is magnesium, is a magnesium molecule. Magnesium literally pulls light within its center. The magnesium center is like a sink, like a basin, right? And it pulls the light within the cells of that magnesium, and that light enters the body as electrons, as energy, because your body is an electrical machine. It's an electric grid, and anybody say different are liars and the deceivers. It's on the internet. It's all over the internet now. Everybody's discovering that. There's a doctor that wrote a book about the electric grid. He was speaking about the body, right? So where there's light, there's life. For life is light, and life is life. Okay? And why is that so? I give you an example. You look at what we're looking at right now. You see how green these plants are? Everything is so green. What do you think give them this green? They call it chlorophyll. The sunlight, right? And the sunlight, when the sun goes away during the fall, what happens to these leaves? They get yellow, they get brown, like this one right here. You see starting to turn yellow and brown? I don't know if you can see it, right? Then when it loses the light, it falls off the tree because it loses the magnetic energy of the sun. You understand? So the plant is life. Those greens that you see is the magnesium, it's the chlorophyll molecules. And I'm gonna read another statement for you that comes from Genesis chapter 1, verse 30. And it says this: and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, I have given green herbs for meat. And it was so. The largest animals on land animals, they don't eat meat. Elephant, the gorilla. They found out that there's some research that they found that a gorilla can live up to 180 years. He doesn't eat meat. Elephant, giraffe, they don't eat meat. Where do they get their protein? Where do they get their calcium? Where do they get their vitamin E that you're talking about? Where does the cow that you eat for iron get its iron, or get its milk, or get its substance from? From the grass. It's eating grass every day. You understand? So you have to learn, you have to know these things, guys. If you're not aware of these things, then all kinds of stuff will happen to you. So the food that you're putting in your mouth, right? The food you're putting in your mouth is the key, you know? So like I was telling you guys, how did I learn this? Like John chapter 7, verse 15 said that. How is this man get such learning having never studied? And he answered and he said to them, he said, it's not me. You know, he said, it's not me. It comes from he who sent me, you know? So the gift that I'm telling you about, I'm not like him or that great person, because he himself used a poultice. I have a video with a lady that has parasite in her hand, and they told her that it was eczema. And I told her it was parasites, and I was right. I made a poultice, and in 9 days it was gone. I have the video up on my channel. You can find it. Christ made a poultice. When he healed the man that they said was blind, and he sat down and he spat on the ground, used his spit and make a clay and put on his eye and tell him to go wash. He washed in the water that was perfectly alkaline, just as his body was alkaline too. So this has been around for generations, you know. I also, listen, I forgot to mention this. I got training from a company by the name of Shackley House Vitamin. It's a very old company. You can't sell their product unless you train, if they send you to school. I worked at GNC, all of this stuff, guys. So my extension is, I have tons of books that I've read, tons of material on vitamins, and most of them was misleading until I started researching stuff. It gave me good foundation, but the rest, what I do now is a gift. I'm able to put stuff together to help people. Okay. I've also appeared in several natural bodybuilding magazines. You know, I appeared in lots of natural bodybuilding magazines. Without that, I don't take steroids. So what else I want to say to you? But yeah, so the pharmaceutical company, they bought out GNC. GNC, I used to work for them also. You know, those was a good company. At that time, they were more like Whole Foods. But anyway, I don't want to stray from the point. So guys, I hope I give you, if you have any more questions, you can just shoot questions. But I want to tell you the last thing. I want to say once again a big shout out to JC Godson and his crew that's making this happen. Guys, we're trying to do something big in Granville, Virginia with this seminar. We want to get the people on a right eating habit and teach them certain things that I'm sure a lot of them are not aware of. So we're going to do a seminar for small donation of $5 and up if you can afford it. But I want us to reach a goal of $3,000. So whatever we make, it can pay for help support my trip there, and I can continue my nonprofit work, because I do a lot of nonprofit work where I help a lot of people in the Dominican Republic and Haiti that are sick and don't have money, and they don't have doctor's money. So I help them with simple things. There's a little boy that had asthma, and he's paraplegic. He can't walk well, and I didn't see him for a year. When I finally saw him, he told me what he had, and he couldn't breathe. He almost died. Still, because when they got rid of, and I think it was tuberculosis, because when they got rid of the fluid that was in his lungs and he couldn't breathe, the bacteria was still there. It's called bacillus bacteria. It forms like a rod. The normal cell will metamorphose into that to protect itself, and that same cell can return to its normal state, but it has to be given the right environment. And I was able to help him in about a week. I have the video of that. So I want to come to Virginia and do a seminar in Granville, Virginia, with the help of J.C. Godson and his crew down there. And we're going to be doing more. And if you get this video and you want us to do more seminar, you let us know. We'll come and do it. This seminar in wherever you are in the country, right? So what else I wanted to tell you guys? This basically all I want to say. And as soon as we get this together, that's when the date is going to probably be set. So once again, guys, may the Most High guide and protect. I know I wanted to say something else to you, but it slipped my brain. Oh yes, one of the things that you must keep in mind if you have any of these diseases, if you don't have a better a solution to getting it fixed, don't get off your medication. It keeps you alive, and don't knock the doctors. You understand? Stay on there. When you meet somebody like me, if you want to go natural, you do it. How I work is I look at the information that you receive from those medical establishments, and it takes me time to go over them and see what is there, what I find, right? That could take me 3 hours to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And I do it this way because when I'm done, I want to be able to prepare you a protocol. A protocol is a bunch of stuff that I put together, like tea. Might include tea, it might include juice, it might include something, it might include whatever that's going to be plant-based, or whatever it is that I have to use. I use Chinese stuff, I use, Indian stuff. But yeah, basically that's it. So guys, I hope you like, subscribe, and share this video. And if those of you that are in the area, Virginia, when we set the date, we're going to let you guys know. You come to that seminar, I promise you, the stuff we're going to talk about, let me tell you some of the stuff we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you how all the dietary laws was written in the Bible. And I'm going to connect to you a lot of the statements that's made in the Bible. Like when it says that, don't you know that your body is the temple of the living God? Any man defile this temple, him will God destroy. What does it mean? Does it mean someone who goes out and is promiscuous sexually? I don't think so, because you have a lot of people that are like that and they live very, very long. I find in my own experience, because I've been sick, and the reason I have all this experience is because I was sick 8 years ago. With all the knowledge I have, I was sick. I had tuberculosis too. And you don't get tuberculosis. This is my experience. Anybody want to challenge me? Bring me $1 million and I'll show you that you don't catch tuberculosis. Anybody think that what they know is so good, even if you're a scientist? Because they're not going to say it, because it's already online. I got it from my cells breaking down and forming these bacteria. With cells breakdown, a lot of these diseases is caused by cells breakdown. Cells breaking down to protect themselves. And because there's so much acid in my body, the body becomes so acidic. You understand? Sepsis is the same thing. All of these acidic diseases, all of these food you're putting in your mouth is creating these problems. All right, so some of the stuff we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you how food is connected. What you put in your mouth affects your health. Also, the connection between the Bible and spirituality and food. All right? Food has a lot to do with your spirituality. Food has a lot to do with your emotions. Food has a lot to do with your thinking. Because scientists, I found research that the brain is, okay, let me put it this way. Your body, because you have a nervous system. The nervous system, if you look at it biologically and you find the information, is like an electrical system. The nerves have what is called myelin sheet. That's the sheet like an electrical cord that the electrons go through, right? And if that myelin sheet is compromised, you're gonna have issues, you know. What was I gonna say? Very, very important. Yeah, well, electrons is important because everything is run on electricity. When you charge your phone, you pull in electrons from the wall into your phone, right? So yeah, we're gonna talk about electricity and how it affects your thinking, how it affects your spiritual growth, how it affects your emotions, how it affects aggression. You know, people, that's what I find. When I change my diet, my whole behavior changes. You understand? So we're going to talk about age. I call it mold age. That means your body, that means as we get older, as we move further in the matrix of movement, I don't think it's called aging. I call it molding, because the body literally molds, because these things are breaking down in the body and forming these things. If you don't get rid of, like for example, when you eat acidic food and it goes into the blood, it goes into the body tries to break it down. If it's too acidic, the body forms minerals, you know. The body leaches substance, in other words, to neutralize that, right? And if it's not neutralized, it crystallizes and forms stones into the body. That's where your kidney stones, your gallstones, this comes from. So we're going to discuss those things. We're gonna connect a lot of things to the Bible and show you. All right, guys. We're gonna talk about high blood pressure. You name it. It's too much for me to mention. So with that, I'm gonna say peace, love. Like, subscribe, and share the videos. Thanks.